So let's go over the supplies that we're going to need for today's project. I am using my Cricut Explore Air 2, but you can use any of the Cricut machines. If you have a Cricut Joy Extra or the Cricut Joy, just keep in mind that they don't have a scoring stylus, so you would just take that part of the card out. But we're going to use, like I said, the Cricut Explore Air 2. I am using cardstock and HTV, so I'm going to be using my Cricut Mini Easy Press. I have my heating pad for the press, small little piece of Teflon sheet that I've cut down, light grit mat. I've got a piece of black and white HTV, just some small pieces. For my cardstock, I've got a couple of different colors. I have white and then 2 different shades of yellow and my black. I have my brayer, my weeding tools. I have my pen to write on my card. This one is just a Cricut pen that came with my Explore Air. This is just a, says 0.4 millimeter. If you're going to be using the Joy or the Joy Extra, just keep in mind that that's a different pen. It'll actually say Joy on it. This right here is just a little tool that I got a long time ago. This just helps to pick up the small pieces of cardstock for when you're putting things together. My brayer, gotta have some glue. This is the glue that I'm going to be using. It has a really nice fine tip on it, which works well with the smaller pieces that we're going to be cutting out. But I think that's it. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll jump into Design Space and I'll show you how to get this all put on your canvas and then cut it out and put it all together. Okay, so here we are inside of Design Space, and I'm going to show you what it looks like when you add your card to Cricut Design Space. This is the SVG. Yours might look a little bit different. If you have images showing, it could look like this, but it is this one right here. This is how it's going to look on your screen. Your words are not showing, but they are there. So go ahead and upload, click on your image, and add to canvas. And this is what it's going to look like when it lands on your canvas. So here are your words, and we just need to do a few things to get this ready to cut with our machine. And I'm going to be using my Cricut Explore Air 2 that I have, but you could also make this with any of the other Cricut machines. You just have to resize it. And because I have a line in here that we're going to use my scoring stylus, if you don't want to use that, you could just go ahead and fold it in half, but you would need to take that out for the Cricut Joy and the Joy Extra because they don't have a spot for the scoring stylus. But you can use the pen with both of these, so you can use it with that machine as well. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and ungroup this. Okay, and you can see over here, this is our card layer, and I want to ungroup this as well. And the reason that I'm going to ungroup this is I want to go where my words are and come up here and change this to pen. So that's going to write with a pen now, okay? This is my line. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to change that to score. So now you can see that that is a scoring line on this card. So I want to grab the card, hit my shift button, and grab all 3 of these and come down here and click attach. And I'm just going to right click and I'm going to send that to the back. Okay, so what that's going to do, if I can show you on my card or on my screen here. You can look down here and make sure that you have all 3 of these here. It's going to cut out a card. It's going to score this line here, and the pen is going to write this. Okay, so I just want to show you that first, so that if you come over here and you see that you forgot to change the words to pen, this is all just going to say basic cut. So then you would just go back and you could grab, I went ahead and attached it, but you have to detach it and then find your words and switch it to pen. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that if you make that mistake, it's very easy to come back and fix it. Okay, so now let's work on the rest of it. And I want to show you, ungroup this. So for what I did was, obviously the card is cardstock. The black beehive here, that is cardstock. If you look on the bees here, if you come over to the color sync, I separated them so that it would be easier that if you decided to do HTV and cardstock, like what I'm going to do, they'll show up on different mats. So this right here is all going to be cardstock. The little antenna and then the black bee, or the beehive, that's going to be from cardstock. The bee bodies and the eyes are going to be from HTV. The wings are also going to be cardstock, so that's why it looks like they're 2 different colors. I just separated with a little bit of a color difference so that you can see that those are going to be cut from different materials. And then the card, like I said, is cardstock, and then your little bee bodies are going to be cardstock as well, but I just made them a different color so that you wouldn't cut them all out of the same, so they would show up a little bit better on your project. But we don't really need to do anything for this. So if we were to click Make It right now, these are the wings. These are the eyes. That's going to be HTV. So I'm going to grab this. I'm going to move it down just a little bit. Click on this, move object, and I'm going to move it to, I think it's this one. Yep, see, these are also going to be out of HTV. So because this is all going to be HTV, this needs to be mirrored. So I'm going to go over to this screen, which is it this one? Make sure I got the right one. This one here, and I want to flip this. So now this is going to be HTV. This will be the correct way. The rest of them are going to be cardstock. So let's see. So if you are comfortable moving things around, you can move all of this to the mat that's right here. But that's up to you. I am somebody who likes to move things around so that I can have less mats to cut. But for this one here, so you need to follow the instructions that are going to be on your screen. So first, when you put your mat in that has this cardstock on, it's probably going to score it first. And then on your machine or on your screen, it's going to pause and it's going to tell you to switch out your tools. So you'll take out your scoring stylus and you'll put in your pen. Because then it'll write your greeting on here, and then it'll come back through and it'll cut out your card. So just be aware that if you've not done this before, there are certain steps that your Cricut likes to cut in, so you need to pay attention to your screen to make sure that you have the right tools in so that your project is cut and done correctly. But you always want to make sure you're on the correct mat when you go to cut it. So like I said, this is what we're going to cut out first. This is going to be cut out of cardstock. And just to show you my settings, I'm going to be using my Explorer 2, like I said. And on my machine, I have a custom dial at the top, and I currently have it set to cardstock. When I get ready to do my HTV, I'll switch that to Everyday Iron-On. So this is telling me right here, this is what I'm going to cut first. So just to give you an example, when you get down here, it will tell you you're going to do your scrolling stylus. You're going to need, these are the tools that you're going to need. So you're going to do this first, and then it says coming up, you'll put your pen in. So just be aware, like I said, if this is the first time doing this kind of project, you want to make sure that you follow the directions on your screen. But I'm going to go ahead and cut out my little parts, and we'll show them how to get them all put together. I'm going to use your brayer to help get your cardstock on your mat better so that you have a better cut. Go ahead and load this one in. My dial is set to cardstock on my Cricut Explorer 2. I'm going to flip that over. And then we're going to go ahead and do the card. And like I said, with watching the instructions on your machine, mine is telling me that I need to go ahead and have my stylus in. So you just look for your little dot on your stylus, open up your clamp, push that down, and close that. Okay, now my machine has paused, so it's telling me to take my stylus out and put my pen in. Close your clamp and hit your button. Okay, I'm going to do my HTV. So for my HTV, I need to change my dial to iron-on. But if you're using the other machines, just go ahead and change it on your screen in Design Space. Under that. I'm going to turn that off because we don't need that anymore. Flip this over. We got our little beehive here, and I'm actually just going to go ahead and leave these on here. It'd be easier to grab them off of there when we go to put everything together. So let's go ahead and get our HTV out here. Okay, so while we're going to go ahead and put this all together, I'm going to turn my Easy Press on. All you need to do is just hit the one button, and just so that your bottom light comes on. We'll let that warm up, and we'll start getting everything put together. Okay, so here's our card. Go ahead and fold that in half. And you can use, like I said, just your finger. You could use your little tool here. You could use a scraper if you have a scraper. And I'm actually going to glue this on first. Okay, I'm going to take my glue. There's our little beehive. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and get my little bee bodies together here. And all the bees are the same, so it really shouldn't matter how you do them. Let's go ahead and get them lined up first. And set this aside here and move this over. So I found it's easier if you try to line it up first with the eyes and then go ahead and put it on the bee and take your top part off. So like that, and then line it up with your bee. And it goes like that. And then I just put this little cardstock underneath it so that if any of the HTV is hanging over it, won't stick on my pad. So we got to get it off now. That black part's got to come off because you can't push them at the same time. You can't press it at the same time. So you don't want to go for very long. Just maybe 8 seconds. And then release that. And then put your top part on. If you have a hard time grabbing it, you can just cut down so you can grab the top part of your cardstock there. Got that part. And then we're going to go ahead and put his wings on. Just going to put a little dab of glue right in the middle here. And stick him on and let him dry, and we'll move on to the next one. And go ahead and turn that off. Glue our little wings on here. Okay. And then we'll bring this back. And this little guy is going to get glued right on here. And then I'm going to put his little antenna on top of that. But I'm not going to glue the back of his wings down because I want his wings to stick up a little bit. Okay, there's one. And then you could put these wherever you want. I thought it would be really cute if you had, instead of having 3 kids in your family, if you have 2 or 5 or whatever, you could adjust your bees if you want more. But you could put these wherever you like. I'm going to stick a little antenna on there. And for these, you have to be really careful. You don't want these to rip. I'm just going to use this little tool here. Stick a little glue on the back. Obviously you don't want it to go over the card, so be careful where you set it down there. Alright, here's your little bees, and I'm just going to come through and just pull these up a little bit. Just to give a little different look. Maybe a little 3D effect here. Here we go, guys. There's our cute little card. I'm going to do this again. Get it to lay down a little better. Here we go. So there's our project, guys. What do you think? If you make it, I would love to see it. Please bring it over to the Facebook group and show it off, because you know I love seeing what you guys make. You can find this week's freebie in the freebie library. It is design number 200. I will leave the name of the font that I used and the link to where you can find it also on the blog post, along with the full list of all the materials that I used. Thanks for being here, guys. I appreciate you. Have a great day.